I managed to find this full set of Ford Mondeo SI wheels on Facebook Marketplace for £80, and in this video I'm going to be taking them from looking like this to looking like this. So make sure to watch this video right to the end. So yes, £80 for a full set of Mondeo SI wheels or Escort GTI wheels. Now they are in a pretty bad state. We've got corrosion, we've got curb marks on the front and the back of the wheel. We're missing a centre cap as well. The tyres on them hold air, but they're from 2009 or something and they're all dry cracked and stuff. But we're not really worried about the tyres, it's more about the wheels themselves. But I think what we should do first is order a centre cap for this wheel, because you can still buy them from the official Ford store. So we'll get a centre cap for this and then we'll start sanding these down. We're going to have to go right down to 8 to get to start getting these curb marks out and the corrosion. So aye, it's going to take a while, but it'll be worth it. So I got straight onto eBay and searched up Ford Mondeo SI alloy wheel centre caps. Now I have bought these in the past, that's why I know you can get them from eBay. So you can get them directly from the Ford official store and they cost around £20. So I ordered one of them up and we'll just have to wait for that coming. And now I could actually make a start on the wheels themselves, and this was one of the worst ones. It doesn't look as bad on the face of the wheel, but when you turn it around, that is pretty bad like. So first off, I'm going to pop the centre cap off and then spray some degreaser right around the whole wheel and then give it a good wipe down to see where we can get it to. And even just after a quick wipe down, this wheel was looking better already. But now we've got the hard part. We're starting on the barrel of a wheel and we're going to get it sanded down using my little DA sander. Now we're starting off with 80 grit to try and get as much of the corrosion and chips out. I'm not going to be going for a completely factory finish on these wheels, we're not going for perfect, but if we can get them better, I'm happy with that. So let's get this first wheel sanded down. I then sanded all the corrosion out of the face of the wheel as well using the 80 grit. Now there wasn't any curb marks on this wheel luckily, so it was just those bits of corrosion. But now I could go over the whole rest of the wheel using a 240 grit sandpaper. So there we have the first wheel sanded down and that is looking a whole lot better already. So we got all the damage and corrosion out of the face of the wheel, and then on the barrel we didn't go as crazy with taking the damage out, but it's a bit that you don't see as much. As long as this sort of bit is looking fresh once it's painted, then I'm happy with that. We've still got some of the glue left over from the last weights on the wheel, so we'll take that off the caramel wheel at some point. But in terms of sanding it down, that is this one done. Oh, we'll maybe need to sand it again. But aye, we'll get onto this one now. So it was now onto the second wheel of all four wheels. I was just doing the exact same thing with the back of the wheel. Now this one wasn't bad at all, there was just a few wee bits of corrosion, but overall the back of this wheel was pretty decent. So I went over it with the 80 grit sandpaper and then worked it up to 240 and 320. And then it was round to the face of the wheel. Now there was some curb marks on this one, so I got them sanded out first with some 80 grit. After sanding out all of the damage and corrosion from the face of the wheel, I could then go back over it with a 240 grit disc. And And that was now 2 wheels completed, and I know it seems like I'm sanding these down pretty fast, but in real life this was taking hours. But nonetheless, it was on to the 3rd wheel, and this one had some old wheel weights on it. Look at how rotten they are. So I got them off, they came off easy as anything, and then I could take the old glue off from them as well. And now it was back to sanding again. I then sanded down the last wheel, taking it from looking like this to looking like this. Now ready for some primer and paint. And there we have it, that is all 4 wheels sanded down. That's took quite a long time, but it's been worth it. They look a lot better already. I'm just getting them cleaned off with some panel wipe now, and then we can start masking them up. The last one that I just done there, that was the worst out of the lot of them. I thought the first one that I'd done was the worst, but that one was bad like. Right, it is now the next morning. I need to get these wheels loaded up into my car, and then we can go to the container and start painting them. I now got the wheels to the container, and I could actually put a wee bit of aerosol primer onto the wheels. I just put this on to cover up some of the damage and bare metal. I've done this on the front and the back of the wheels just to make sure I had coverage everywhere. This will make the paint go on a bit better and should give us a better finish too. The paint colour I'm actually going to be using on the wheels today is Ford Moon Silver. This is the same stuff that I'd sprayed onto my Vauxhall wheels, so I know it's a nice colour. I had some left over, so I thought that would be perfect for these wheels. Just look at how nice a colour that is. Right, so I'm pretty much all ready to go with paint here on these wheels in the container. I put a wee couple of coats of aerosol primer onto the wheels just to cover the damage and bare metal, but now they're looking a lot better. You can start to see the shape of the wheels that are coming now. I mean, that one even in primer just looks so much better. After panel wiping the wheels one last time, I can then use this thing. This is a tack cloth, and if you've watched my videos before, you'll know what this is. To put it simply, it's a sticky cloth that removes any little bits of dirt or dust that are left on the panel, and just takes it off. But with that out of the way, let's get this first coat of paint onto the wheels. Now with this first coat, we're not going for the ultimate finish here, we're just trying to get a bit of that paint onto the wheel first. This is just so that the second coat has something to grip to, because with solvent based coat you want to get as wet a coat as possible without getting any runs. It was now on with the second coat of base coat. This is the last coat I'm going to do, so you'll see me going a lot heavier with the paint here and trying to get a better finish. The reason I'm only doing 2 coats is because the primer underneath actually allowed me to get a good coverage with just the first coat, so a second coat should be plenty. that is the base coat dry on the wheels. They look absolutely amazing, man. Even just with them sitting matte without any lacquer on them, they look great. So it's now time to get some of the shiny stuff onto the wheels, in other words, clear coat. This is mixed at a ratio of 2 to 1, so you can see it on the cup there. That bottom 2 is where I have the clear coat to, the top 2 is the hardener, and then I put a 10% of thinners in there as well, because we're painting with solvent. And just quickly before we get on with clear coat on these wheels, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel, because over 6 to 8% of you watching these videos are not. So if you are enjoying the videos, please make sure to subscribe. Now, let's get this clear coat on. There we have it, that is 2 coats of lacquer on my Escort wheels. They look absolutely amazing, man. Look at the shine on that. Now I did have a wee bit of an issue with this one here. It did react, it's just unfortunate, but compared to what these wheels looked like at the start, I'm happy with that. I also done a bumper in here as well, looking pretty good. So aye, there we go, full set of wheels done, and then 3 centre caps because I'm still waiting on the new Ford one. But there we have it, a completely standard container in a yard. You can do painting in here, no bother. You might have to flatten and polish the bits down that you're painting a wee bit, but it can be done. You don't need a professional booth to start painting. Look at this. And there we have it, that is the wheels all unmasked. What a difference. That's the wheel outside. Look at the shine on that, man. They definitely look a lot better. There's obviously still a few blemishes and stuff in the wheel, but for what they came from, that's not too bad. So now that we have all 4 wheels painted, we've got air back in the tyres and stuff, what do I do with them next? I mean, we've got 3 out of the 4 centre caps, we're still waiting on 1 coming from Ford, but apart from that, they're pretty much done. I mean, I've got these wheels on my Escort already, these are 15 inch, the ones on my Escort are 15 inch, but if these were 16s, then I would have put them onto my Escort, but they're not, they're 15 inch. I don't have any use for them. I don't have a new project car to put them on or that, we're still trying to finish off the Nova, so I don't really have a purpose for them. So what I was going to try and do was put them up onto Facebook Marketplace and see if we can sell them. Now from what they started at, I had them for £80 and they looked terrible, they were in terrible condition. We've now managed to get them a bit better. Now they still need a set of tyres on them, but in terms of the wheels themselves, they look a lot better. So I think we should take some photos and try and sell them on Marketplace and make a wee bit of profit off them. So let's try that. So I then took a bunch of different photos of the wheels in different angles with all 4 wheels with the centre caps on, different photos of the tyres and stuff, just so that I had plenty for adding to the listing. I then added them all into my listing and I could start writing about the wheels, so I added a title for them. They're obviously Ford Mondeo SI wheels or Ford Escort GTI wheels. I chose Ford Escort GTI because it's a better title. I mean, the Escort's a more popular car, I'd say. And then I spent some time writing a good description of the wheels. This always helps out with the sale if you can give people as much information as possible. I listed them for £320, but I would take offers on that. So I left it overnight and seen if I got any offers. So it's now the next day after after listing the wheels for sale, and we've had a few messages, but quite clearly we haven't sold them just yet. But we've only had them listed since sort of yesterday evening, so they've not even been up for long. Now I have also had a couple of messages on Instagram of people wanting to come and buy them next week, so we can always wait out and hold out for them. But I'm happy how these have came out, and I'm sure we will get them sold, or I'll find a purpose for them. Now I will move a bit on the price as well, but that's the sort of price that these wheels are going for now. I have heard from people though that these used to be really easy to pick up and they were common as muck, but now they are getting a bit rarer. I mean, they're over 20 years old now, so yep, I'm happy how these turned out. What a transformation on them, even on the back of the wheels, man. They just look so fresh, and I'm really happy how they've came out. We're still waiting on one centre cap coming for Ford, so hopefully that comes soon. But I hope you all did enjoy this video. Please make sure to like this video, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new or you're watching my videos and you're not subscribed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. Make sure to stay tuned because we're going to be painting the Nova pretty soon. Yeah.